Diagnose Ineffizienz. Wir verschreiben kollegiales Teamwork.
Herzlich willkommen im Krankenhaus St. Joseph Braunau. Jetzt bewerben als Ärztin oder Arzt für Innere Medizin. khbr.at/Karriere.
The mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank. And like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
Welcome to the Law of Attraction Tribe. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith. I went from being a miserable corporate employee to becoming a podcaster, app creator, and best-selling author, all through the power of the Law of Attraction. So join me for bite-sized episodes where I simplify the manifestation process and help you manifest a life you don't need a vacation from. So buckle up, keep an open mind, and get ready to create your dream reality. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. So today I want to talk about healing physical ailments, physical pain, and just some interesting things that have happened to me over the past few months. Some things that potentially I manifested, but it's just been kind of interesting. I can't stop thinking about it. And it's just every single day I keep getting the thought like I need to do a podcast episode on this. And I've been a little bit hesitant to do so just because I feel like I sound like a little bit of a crazy person just with the stuff that I'm going to talk about. So just keep an open mind and just know that like whatever it is, I'm not saying that, I have all the answers to healing or anything like that, but I got very intentional about my health over the past few months, and I just wanted to share it so that if anyone out there is dealing with anything, I'm just going to share with you some of the things that I've been doing, and maybe it helps and maybe it doesn't. Maybe I sound like a crazy person. I don't know. So just keep an open mind. But it starts with a little bit of a health scare that I had. And spoiler alert, I'm totally fine. Everything's good. My health is checked out and great, but I didn't know that in the beginning. So to kind of preface this, two very good friends of mine were diagnosed with breast cancer, and they're both fine now, and everything's great, and they beat it, and they're doing amazing. But being close with them, I knew like the ins and outs of what they were dealing with, and it was really scary. And you can't help but start thinking about your own health and everything, And one of my friends, I was talking with her, and at one point they were concerned that potentially the cancer could have spread to like a lymph node, and it didn't. And she's fine now; she's doing great. But it got me thinking because I was telling her, my like in my armpit area, my right side, it's always been sort of like swollen. Okay. And I've had it checked out twice prior, like have total checkout, like with an ultrasound, mammogram, the whole 9 yards. And it's always come back that it's fine. But of course, with anything, they say if anything changes, if it gets bigger, if you have pain, anything like that, come in and you need to get it checked out again. So anyhow, as we were talking, I was like, man, I really should probably get this checked out again because it has gotten bigger and there has been pain and tenderness in this area. And I kind of put it off thinking, okay, I work out, I do lift weights and do push-ups and things like that. And all of that can kind of cause some pain or inflammation. And so I've kind of brushed it off, but I was like, oh my God, like what if this is a sign that I need to get this checked out? And I was trying to be really careful about what I was thinking in regards to that because I didn't want to like manifest an issue that wasn't there, but I just kind of went with the approach of like, okay, it's better to be safe than sorry. I'm just going to get it checked out so I have peace of mind. So I go to my OBGYN to tell her what's going on, and she does like her exam. And I mean, the second she like pushed on that area, she was like, okay, you need to go and get this checked out. We're going to do a mammogram and an ultrasound, and you really need to get this checked out. I see exactly what you're talking about. And then she kind of backed up a little bit. I think she saw that I was freaked out, and she's like, look, I'm not worried. I'm not saying you need to worry or freak out or anything, but you definitely are in that, area where it is a concern, and we just want to get you cleared. And so just go get it checked out. And then she tells me, and by the way, don't go to Baycare. And I kind of laughed, and I was like, well, I don't have a choice. I have to go there because that is where our insurance is through. And so she was like, okay, well, you might have to wait a little bit. But I mean, if you can go somewhere else, go somewhere else. If not, like, it is what it is. And so sure enough, I immediately call Baycare. I'm like, I need to get in for imaging. And they tell me that I can get in a month and a half. And I was like on the phone with this guy. I was like, dude, this isn't a routine mammogram. There is like a concern. My doctor's concerned. She told me I need to get it checked out right away. And he was so nice. He checked every single Baycare owned place in the area and couldn't find anywhere that was sooner. Most places were even further out. They were like 2 months out. I was like, this is insane. And that just got me, pissed off, because we have like the most expensive insurance plan through them, but it's been like this kind of issue where we can't get in to see doctors. We can't go to the doctors we want to see. And I mean, I could go on and on about all the issues with our healthcare system, but needless to say, I was like really pissed and just kind of like, this is not good. Like, I have to sit here and wait now a month and a half. And obviously, like, with knowing about the law of attraction, I pretty quickly reframed it, because I'm like, I'm going to drive myself insane waiting to see if everything's okay. And I don't want to like manifest something really bad. And so the way that I reframed it, and this is the first kind of like, nugget that I'm going to throw out there for anyone who's in that situation where you're worried about something and you're just sitting there and stewing about it because you have no choice but to wait. The way that I reframed it is I was like, okay, I am choosing to look at this next month and a half as a gift where I am going to use everything that I can possibly think of to, try to heal my body and just be in perfect health. And that includes, manifesting, meditating, stuff like that, but also other things that I've been learning about recently with my health journey, like castor oil packs, just different types of things like soursop leaves. I got those to make tea. And that leads me to the first thing that I don't know if I manifested it or not, but it was so interesting, is saffron. So saffron was one of the things, saffron, soursop leaves. I think there might've been something else, but that kept coming up over and over again. I was seeing videos on it. When I was searching for how to like build up immunity and fight cancer and have good health, saffron and soursop leaves. It was like this hidden thing that, has all of these antioxidants. And with saffron, it has like a very unique blend of antioxidants to where it helps build immunity and fight off pretty much anything. But, study after study and news article after health article after journal article were saying that it could potentially, like, it has these benefits to fight cancer with these antioxidants. And so I was like, okay, I need to find some saffron. Well, it's really hard to find. It is really hard to find like a good, reliable source. And it's super expensive because I guess it's really difficult to harvest it. And so it's not something that's readily available. Like I went in all the main, stores that I go in, none of them had it, and then you start looking online and you kind of question like, well, can I trust, ordering something like this from somewhere like Amazon and, just going through this whole thing. And I just kept thinking like, I need to just find some saffron. I want some like a good, reliable source of saffron. So anyhow, while I'm on this quest to find it, I was taking my Magic Mind one day and I'm reading the ingredients, like the actual, ingredients list. And there toward almost to like the very end is saffron. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. Like I've been looking everywhere for this and I've been taking it without even realizing it. Like it is in Magic Mind. I'm like, of course it is. This stuff has everything in it. So yeah, it has it. I don't know exactly how much is in there, but I'm like, oh my God, I've been taking it and not even realizing it. And so real quick, I'm just going to go over some of the other things that they have because like I said, I've been taking this stuff for months, close to a year now. And now I know it has saffron. So that's like an added plus that I didn't realize. But also it has all of the important, like the essential vitamins. And I've been getting into all of this stuff and there's so many people that I follow, doctors, scientists that have been saying that a lot of this disease, at least with the people that I follow, they're saying it's from a deficiency in like essential vitamins and minerals, nutrients. So like one of the guys is Gary Brecka. He's great. I totally recommend following him if you want to get into like optimal health. But anyways, B, C, and D vitamins. Like those are so essential. Those are all in Magic Mind. Like I went and I bought all these supplements and then I'm like, all of this shit is in Magic Mind. All of it. Like it's just, I didn't even realize that. I bought it for the mental performance. So like they have all the different things like lion's mane, bacopa, cognizin. They have rhodiola, cordyceps, matcha for energy. Like that's why I bought it. I didn't even realize that it has B2, B3, B12, C vitamin, D vitamin, again, saffron. And then also for stress, because when you're going through health stuff or really anything, I mean, who doesn't have stress? But I mean, I had extra stress, like worrying about this health stuff. And it has ashwagandha, L-theanine, which that's a big one that Gary Brecka talks about, and turmeric, which you guys probably know already. I used to make my own turmeric shots and they were awful. And this tastes so much better. So this stuff has all of it. If you want some, you can get a discount because they did give me a link. So if you go to the Magic Mind website, you don't even need to go to my link. You can just go to magicmind.com. And then at checkout, if you use my code, which is LOATribe20, you get 20% off if you do like a one-time order, like if you just want to try it out. Or if you want to get a subscription, which is what I do since I take it every day, I think you get up to like 43% or something astronomical off. So just use code LOATribe20. Or if you go to my direct link, which is magicmind.com/LOATribe20, the discount will automatically apply. You don't need to put in a code or anything. So, I love this stuff. I swear by it. And it was just kind of funny because it's like I was taking it anyways, but all of these things that I was buying and spending all this money on, and then saffron, which I couldn't find anywhere, it's all freaking in Magic Mind. So I just thought like, okay, how funny is that? And I felt like I kind of manifested it because I've been taking this for a year. I have looked at the ingredients, you guys, like I don't know how many times. I've never noticed saffron on there until recently. And I'm not saying they just added it. I'm just saying like, it's so funny how I'm just like asking the universe and like, show me the best place to get it. And then boom, like it's sitting in my refrigerator. So taking all of that stuff, I felt like that's helping me do something about it, because when you're waiting and you can't really do anything, it's hard. And so like I was taking the same advice that I was giving my friend, which is like, why not just try some of these things that are all natural. It's not like they're dangerous. They're safe, they're good for you, and why not? Like, it can't hurt, right? So I was like, I need to take my own advice. So I started doing that. The other thing that I was recommending my friend that I decided, well, again, I'm going to take my own advice, is castor oil packs, which I don't know if they work or not. Okay. I really don't. I got into these through Barbara O'Neill, which, if you guys are on TikTok and you have not yet discovered Barbara O'Neill, just look her up on TikTok. Like, this woman has freaking changed my life. But one of the things she talks about is castor oil packs. And once again, I'm like, whatever, like, I'm going to try it and we'll see. And so she says to like rub castor oil on the area, and then you put a heating pad on it for like an hour or 30 minutes to an hour. I think she says 30 minutes, whatever, 30 minutes to an hour. So I decide, like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it on my armpit and like put the heating pad on. And then I'm like, well, you know what? While I'm in here and it's quiet because my husband was watching the kids, why not do a meditation? Like, I never have time to sit down and do a full 30-minute meditation. I mean, by the time the kids go to bed, I'm like done. Like, if I try to meditate, I'm out. So I'm like, I'm going to do a meditation. Well, little backstory. I have been super into the Monroe Institute, like down the rabbit hole. I've talked about it once before on this podcast, and it goes a little bit, I don't even want to say conspiracy theory because it's not, it's like proven, but through a FOIA request years ago, I want to say this was in the 90s or early 2000s, through the Freedom of Information Act, you can request certain documents after a certain length of time. So all of these CIA documents were released, and they talk about the Monroe Institute, which the Monroe Institute was this guy named Robert Monroe. And this was, I think, back in like the 40s and 50s. And he discovered this new technique that he calls hemisync technology. Well, what is hemisync technology? It's basically using binaural beats, which are in every single one of my subliminals in the Manifest It Now app. And by using binaural beats, it connects it, like the right side, the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere of the brain, like fire at the same time. And it can create this amazing, sort of like, you could use it for like a deep meditation. He goes as far as to have these like out of body experiences. We're talking like astral projection, things like that are very advanced once you master it. And so I've known about this for a long time. I know that he started doing this. It got the government's attention, so much so that they started sending their CIA agents through the Monroe Institute to do all of these programs. So that's what piqued my interest. And I have the documentation. I've read through it, and I'm like, you know what? If they are doing this, then there's got to be, you know, enough belief behind it. And looking at all the documentation, it was pretty compelling. So I've always been, you know, kind of interested in this. And so I'm like, I'm going to go through this program. So while I have this like 30 minutes with the castor oil pack, I go to YouTube to the Monroe Institute. Now you have to pay to go through like their gateway experience, their discovery series, like all of these things where you lead to these out of body experiences, like astral projection. You have to like go and sign up with them and pay. And it is expensive. And I'm, you know, kind of back and forth on if and when I want to do that, because you really have to commit to it. But they do have some free videos on their YouTube. So if you go on their YouTube channel, there is a video. I'm going to look it up right now. It's called Self-Healing. And this is from like 4 years ago. They set it up on their YouTube as a fundraiser so that they could raise money. And they still have it on there. And I'm like, okay, well, healing. I want to heal. So I'm going to go ahead and do this meditation. So quick backstory with the Monroe Institute. So I've tried a few of their gateway meditations, and immediately you get into this like very, very deep meditation type state, almost to where it's kind of like creepy, you know, like I don't know. I know they use binaural beats, but I don't know what all technology they use. They use a lot of different things. And you just like, boom, like you get deep into a meditation. So with this one, same thing. I like instantly, I fall into this deep meditation. And I've only one other time had a really incredible experience in a meditation. And it was through like a breathwork exercise. And this is actually in the app. So Judith Junkie, she's a breathwork she does so many different things, but like breath work is like her modality. And so if you go to the Manifest It Now app, she's in the Inner Tribe section. The whole breath work thing that you're listening to in the app is the thing that I was doing, where I had this like crazy experience, got super deep into this meditation, ended up seeing my dog that had passed away, but it was unlike anything I'd ever experienced before. It was like so real. It wasn't like a dream. It wasn't like a meditation that I've ever done before. It was so real. Like I really truly believe that I was connecting with my dog. And it was interesting because as I see my dog and I'm like, what are you doing here? And she's like licking my face and I'm hugging her and like having this whole experience. I hear Judith, like she's guiding this meditation, this breath work. And as I'm like seeing my dog, I hear her say, you may even see a spirit animal. And I was like, holy shit, Gypsy's my spirit animal. Like my dog is my spirit animal. And it was just the most incredible experience. I was bawling my eyes out. We did like a third eye opening. And I mean, the vivid like purple hues that she was explaining that you would see from your third eye, I did. Like it was the most intense thing I think I've ever done. But that was the only time I had experienced anything like that in a meditation until I did this self-healing thing with the Monroe Institute. So I instantly am like in this deep meditation. And all of a sudden, like, you know, my eyes are closed. I'm laying down. And all of a sudden I sense this presence. But it was like multiple, like beings or entities, or I don't even know how to describe it. It could be like my spirit team, my spirit guides, angels, like however you want to phrase it. Words can't really, I guess, describe it, but it's not like I physically saw anything, but I just felt like multiple presences surrounding me and like looking down on me, but in a completely non-threatening way. Like I knew, it was the craziest thing. So I knew instantly that they wanted to help and that they could help, but they're not allowed to unless I ask them. Like in a split second, I just knew this as like the ultimate knowing, ultimate truth. I just knew this. Literally, as I have that thought, like a few seconds later, the woman guiding the meditation goes, okay, now is when your spirit team is with you, or spirit guides. I forget how she said it. And she said, and they want to help you, but you have to ask. They need your permission first. So if you would like them to help, now would be the time to ask. And I was like, holy shit, like, how did I know that? How did I know that? Like, it was the craziest thing. And I just was like, please, God, help me. Like, and I just was like, help me, help me, help me. And just started like bawling because I just like, all of a sudden, like as soon as I said those words, all of a sudden, my whole body just had this like immense feeling of peace wash over me. It was like, imagine you're just like falling into an ocean of like complete bliss and peace and love. That was what it felt like instantly. Like instantly. It was insane. And I just knew, I had this inner knowing that like everything's going to be okay now. Like everything's going to be okay. And I just kept saying like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for healing me. Thank you for healing me. Thank you for healing me. And so I get out of that meditation. I'm like bawling and I'm like, that was the craziest thing I've experienced other than that breath work thing with Judith. I was like, holy shit, like that was a powerful, powerful meditation. And so that happened. And I just, ever since then, I just knew I was okay. And I just knew like, I'm going to go in for those tests and everything's going to be okay. So fast forward, and like literally, like my mind was pretty damn good. Like I really was not worrying about it after then, and which was great because I had to wait, a month and a half. So a month and a half finally rolls around. I finally get to go. And so the day of, I did my morning journal, which I do every morning. I give gratitude for what I have, and then I get gratitude for what I want, but I talk about it in the present tense. So I was just like, I'm so grateful that I have perfect health. I'm so grateful that my body has completely healed me and I'm back into balance. I'm so grateful that the doctor is going to tell me that everything looks normal and great and I have a perfect, clean bill of health. So I was like writing all those things down, and then throughout the day, I was repeating those things. And then as I was in the waiting room, I was repeating those things and just trying to keep like very calm. I didn't want to feel too anxious or excited or anything like that. I just tried to be like as neutral as possible. So I was doing like a lot of like, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth kind of thing. And as I was sitting in the waiting room and I saw the woman that, was going to be doing the imaging, I just started visualizing, okay, she's going to walk out of the room and she's going to say, everything looks good. You're good to go. And I like visualized it. Okay. So I do the imaging, and what does she do? She walks out of the room and she's like, everything looks great. You're good to go. Like exactly the exact freaking words I visualized, by the way. Like how creepy is that? But long story short, I don't know what happened. Most likely there never was anything wrong. And it was just, I was just worried. And there was nothing there to find in the first place, most likely. But then there's that little part of me that's like, did I manifest that? Did something happen to where I was healed in that meditation? And I don't know. I don't know the answer. I know there's some people that are going to say like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But then there's other people that believe. And I feel like our minds are so powerful, and that we create our own reality, and that there is the potential that happened. And that's ultimately the reason why I wanted to do this episode, because if this happened for me, like, again, just like I was telling my friends, what does it hurt? What does it hurt to try meditating or to try, having these castor oil packs or the saffron? Like, it doesn't hurt. You still want to go to the doctor and you still want to follow the treatment that your doctor recommends, but why not also do these other things? And if nothing else, I will say it absolutely took my mind from freaking out and being in this constant anxious state to feeling completely at peace and calm, and feeling very confident that I was healed. And even if I wasn't, I would be. Like, it was just this knowing that like, I am going to be okay no matter what. And so I think at the very least, it did that for me. So I wanted to share that. I'll link the meditation in the show notes. Again, you can just go to YouTube, go to the Monroe Institute, and it's called Self-Healing. And it's the one that's a fundraiser. Why not try it out? Why not try it out? If anything, just to calm your mind and sort of like heal your thoughts and that kind of thing. So, I hope this helps. Anytime I keep getting that nudge to talk about something on the podcast that I don't really feel comfortable talking about, every single time I get someone reaching out that's like, I needed to hear that, and it completely like helped me. And so I have total faith that that's going to happen again. And there's someone out there that needed to know this. Now, one other thing that I wanted to mention is throughout all of this, it kind of reawakened manifestation for me. And what I mean by that is, I've talked about this so many times on the podcast, but as human beings, we like to overcomplicate things and we like to get in our heads. And I kind of did that. And this usually happens once a year, where I'll kind of get in a funk and kind of get out of my manifesting routine and lose faith a little bit. And then something will happen that pulls me right back into it. And that's exactly what happened here. And then last week's episode was with Coach JV. If you didn't listen to that episode, please do, because I have to say, that was probably one of the most real, honest, raw, authentic conversations I've ever had with somebody. Like, he was so real. He didn't try to hide the really dark things about him and his past, things that he's still going through. And at the end of it, we were laughing, and I don't even remember if we recorded this part or if this was after we stopped recording, but we were laughing and saying how, like, you know, sometimes people who are in this space of like spirituality, manifestation, you think, oh my God, they have their shit together. They're always so high vibe and positive, and how that's really not the truth. I mean, I've said many times before on this podcast, the reason I got into all of this stuff is because I have a tendency to be negative and to get really bad anxiety. And like, this getting into the law of attraction was what kind of saved me from that, saved me from myself. And same with him. I mean, he went from overdosing to changing his life because of The Secret, and The Secret's what started it for me. So I just felt like we were kind of like supposed to meet and have that conversation. And so at the end of it, we were talking, and he's like, you know, like, as a business owner, how we kind of get in our heads and we kind of forget everything that got us to this point, which was manifestation. It was, we manifested it. But then we get to this point where we get so in the weeds with the numbers and the projects and the emails and the da-da-da-da and social media and all that kind of stuff that we kind of forget, hey, like, we still need to manifest this. And so it completely like re-energized both of us and got us to be like, okay, we need to get back to the basics. Like, that Stephanie that was, you know, 24 years old reading The Secret, and then my entire life changed in 3 months. What the hell happened to her? Like, I need to get back to her and get back to the basics, the very simple basics. It's so simple, you guys. It's so simple. We overcomplicate it. So that's what this whole process did for me. And the other day I was telling my friend about it, and I was like, should I do that with other people? Like, maybe we could do something like a virtual retreat. And she was like, yes, 1,000% yes. And she pulls cards for me all the time. And she's like, Stephanie, like, literally all the cards have been saying this for months now, and you just haven't been listening. And she's like, I'm glad you're finally getting it, you know? And I was like, oh my God, you're right. So needless to say, I am going to do a 3-day virtual retreat. This is going to be a manifestation reset. I'm calling it a quantum reset. And I'll explain it in the virtual retreat, but it's basically how we get back to making it easy, because it's so freaking easy. Like, the best things I've manifested did not come from being in my head and doing all this hard work. It's come with ease. I quantum shifted. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about. And my friend that does these like incredible card pulls is going to do a card pull for us. We're going to do it with the new moon, so we can call in and use this quantum energy and like do a quantum leap in the new moon. So it's going to be pretty epic. I'm really excited about it. Like, I feel I have not felt this energetically like recharged in so long. And so I want to pour that energy into you. And I've noticed when we do these like live group events, everyone puts their energy together. And that is when these like quantum shifts happen. That is when you can overcome anything, because it's not just you, like it's the whole group, like up-leveling collectively. So that's what we're going to do. And to make it incredibly easy, if you text me, I will send you the information. So by the time I publish this, I might have all the info set up, but either way, if you get on this text list, you will be notified. You will know exactly when you can sign up, when we're going to do it, the whole 9 yards. So all you need to do is text the word reset to 929-642-0103. So again, it's just the word reset, RESET. Text that to 929-642-0103. This group, this text group, is how I will be communicating. So I'll give you guys all of the info, the dates, the times, the whole 9 yards. We've got people all over the world. So if you can't make the live calls, I will absolutely post the replays. And I've got like some really fun pre-work and post-work and all kinds of stuff planned. Like I'm just pouring into this. It's going to be pretty epic. So yeah, just text me and I will notify you as soon as I got everything set up and ready to go. We're looking at the end of August, beginning of September. I'm thinking it's going to be September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, just because that's when we have the new moon. It's a new month. And there's some like fun manifestation rituals that come along with that. So I think those are going to be the days unless something else comes up. But get on that text list and I will let you know. You'll be the first to know. And that is how I will communicate for this group. So thanks for tuning in. I hope this helped. If you have any friends or family members that are really struggling right now, send this episode to them. Have them do that meditation. It can't hurt. Maybe it'll help them at least with some, peace instead of anxiety. And sharing the episode is totally free. It's super easy to do and it really helps the podcast. So I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in and I'll see you back here next week. If you enjoyed the episode, then pay it forward and share it with a friend. It's the best thing you can do to support the podcast and help share the law of attraction with other people. If you want more manifestation hacks, tips, and resources, then head over to my Instagram page at the Law of Attraction Tribe, or download the Manifest It Now app and check out my over 200 manifestation resources and tools. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next time.